Hey folks, JD here, and today I wanted to go back over this, and this is the ProFlight Orbit, otherwise known as the Whisk. I decided to call it that because, well, it looks like a whisk. So, as well as looking at all the new quadcopters, I also like to look back at the quads that I have for a period of time, whether it be 3, 6, 9 or 12 months, and let you know exactly how that quad has been functioning for that time. Now, if you haven't seen all the videos relating to this and you want to, you'll find them all in the description. So, I've had this now for just over 6 months, and it's not a quadcopter I thought I ever would have kept for this long. Normally with this particular type of quad I use it a few times, normally get in about half a dozen to a dozen flights, and then I will give them away. Well, I decided to keep this because it reminded me, well, it looked different. There was something most definitely different about it. I really enjoyed, when you open out the quad, I mean, it is really quite large. I mean, I really wasn't prepared for just how big this quadcopter actually was, but oh come on, more to the point, am I pushing the right button? Yeah, pushing it the wrong way though. More to the point, I really enjoyed its flight. Now, I took this out and I flew it in weather which was less than good. Pretty much high winds. I tried it and it's not steering high winds because it's an inverted flyer, so the propellers are pointing downwards when you fly it. It flies that way. You need to have a very, very still day. If you don't have a very, very still day, this quad moves everywhere. Now, because it pulls itself out into a standard quadcopter shape, but that quadcopter shape is quite broad and quite long, you will find that the slightest wind will knock it off its course. Not dangerously, but you'll just notice that it'll start to bob up and down and jump up and down rather than keep a very nice level flight. Now, what else I thought about this? Overall, return to home, I thought it was great. The flight, I thought was great. The battery just wasn't perfect. I think, if memory serves, we had about 10 to 11 minutes of flight, which was pretty adequate. It responded well to the relay, to the controls I was relaying from the transmitter. I didn't have any issues there. The camera, well, as with a lot of these quadcopters, the camera is sort of an afterthought. They think of, well, let's make the thing fly first and then let's just stick any old camera on it. That's pretty much what you've got. It wasn't the worst. I think I remember saying I was quite impressed with it when I was looking through my little iPhone. That in itself, as you're looking in a small screen, all the pixels are going to be quite nicely condensed together and everything's going to be looking very, very nice. When you blow that photo or that video up to a full size resolution and you can actually look at it within a 23 or 24 inch monitor, you get to see exactly how noisy it really is. Now, with this particular camera, I wouldn't be looking at this quad at all for anything other than you're a beginner or just a bit of fun. In fact, I really wouldn't even say it's beginner because it's inverted. It does make the flight a little bit dicey now and again, and it does cause the quadcopter, if you're flying the quad this way, which is the correct way, the quad will bob up and down if it has any wind, if it comes in contact with any high winds. Now, I enjoyed it. When I bought it, I think, if I remember, and I've gone back and tried looking for my invoice, but I can't find it anywhere. I think I either paid £69 for it from Drones Direct here in the UK, or it was on special offer and I paid £30. I cannot remember what I did. Now, I think I may have got it at its lowest of 30 because I think I just jumped at the thing. And I'm all in all, I'm quite impressed. The GPS module works well. Yes, it has got GPS, so you are going to have quite nice steady hold from the GPS when you do stop positive pitching on the quadcopter. The overall quad looks quite nice. I mean, this one now is a little bit battered because I've had it for 6 months and I just throw it in my bag, take it somewhere, fly it, and then throw it back in my bag again. But all in all, it seems to be manufactured and machined quite well. The plastic, even though it is quite thin, and it does give the impression of it being quite plasticky, as in quite thin plastic. That's not me referencing the fact that it is plastic, it's just other than very, very thin plastic. It does feel quite nice. The propeller arms have got a bit of movement in them as well, which is nice, as to be expected. You don't want it to be totally rigid, you want there to be a bit of flex. I haven't found at any time that these propeller arms fail. I found that they work quite well. The only thing that I do find with them is that I forget sometimes, as you saw at the beginning of the video, which way I'm moving this. So sometimes you'll have to always put it towards the left if you want to collapse the arm. But this time I was pushing it backwards and obviously the arm wasn't collapsing. but I find the motion on the propeller arm works really well. It clicks in quite nicely, and then once it is in, you can't move it at all unless you unclip it. So it does clip in, and you can put quite a bit of pressure behind it, see? And it does flex and moves quite well, but it doesn't unclip, and that's good. Now, as I say, the battery itself wasn't great. It gives you a standard 10 minutes from what I remember, which, to be fair, from a 1200 milliamp hour battery isn't terrible when you add in the fact that it has a camera which is constantly recording video in my videos that I've made of these, as well as a GPS module, as well as I had a bit of resistance from environmental factors such as the wind. So all that tied in, I don't think it was that terrible at all. I think it did actually pretty well, and I really quite like it, hence why I've kept onto it. And as I say, I've flown this now at least half a dozen to a dozen times, and it just works. Yes, it's brushed. Yes, it hasn't got the finesse of a brushed quadcopter, of a brushless quadcopter. Yes, those brush motors may end up burning out. But to be perfectly honest with you, I think it's a really fun quad. It looks different. It's inverted flight. It has GPS. It has a camera. It gives you a minimum 10 minutes of flight. The transmitter works really well. The app worked pretty good as well. I think everything about it just worked pretty well. Just worked quite well, rather. The return to home was pretty accurate. I mean, everything about it I just really enjoy. I'm not going to come down on that hard on this because, as I say, I just enjoy it. If you want to see more on this, then you can check out all the videos on this particular quad in the description. But more than anything, folks, if you're in the UK and if this ever goes on to special offer, I would genuinely say give it a shot. I really like it, and I'm going to be taking it up as well the next opportunity I've got once this bad weather stops, and we're going to be taking it up for quite a long flight. I've got a few more batteries with it as well. I bought a few more, so with that I'm going to see whether or not we can get some really nice flights, and if I can double the amount of flights I've got on it now without having to replace any parts. But I suppose time will tell with that, and I will most definitely make a few videos and let you know exactly how it goes. Alright then, my friends, thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and ring that bell too. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.